Hey, well, church family, this is Adrian Parker, and this is the last episode of our Masterpiece video series. So, we spent the last month, right, learning how creativity and art reveal the heart of God and that we are all works of art, but we also have work to do. And so today I am excited because we've talked to Taryn Christ, right? And she's talked about singing. We've talked to Jaden Baker. He's an actor in Hollywood in these major films. We talked to Mason Grant, our very own. He's an artist. He's an illustrator. Talked to Derek Wright. He is a doctor of music, an entrepreneur, and he is a French hornist. And but today, y'all, today we are going to rap in style. I am introducing to you the fabulous fashionista, the dazzling dancer, the amazing graduating senior, the Nina Simone Burroughs. Nina, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Nina Burroughs. I am a 19-year-old. I'm graduating from Timber Creek High School, and I plan on going to Fashion Institute of Technology and majoring in fashion business. But currently, right now, I'm a dancer of 16 long and lengthy years, and yeah, I love it.
16 years of dancing. So I must say this right off the bat. I was thinking this. So I think Trey introduced me to you. This was about maybe 2.5 years ago. And the way he described you, and oh, okay, I thought, oh, it's this young adult in the church. And I was, oh, maybe it's this college student in the church. But to find out, and that was 2 years ago,
Yeah,
oh my gosh, you're like 14, 15, and like just the way you handle yourself, your maturity. And we had meetings with, to talk about church marketing and social media, and like Nina was on point, y'all. So I am amazed always by kind of how you've just carried yourself. But I want to
yeah.
start at the beginning. Were you always this confident? How did you grow up? What was it like growing up? What kind of personality
Yeah.
did you have? Because I know right now we see this amazing Nina, but how are you as a little girl growing up?
I don't know. I like to think I've always been like this big, huge personality for such a small body, because for reference, I am 4'11". So I think this, like, I don't know. I've always been this small little facility. So I think this big, huge personality has always kind of been there. And I think it's just kind of grown as I've grown in a way. But I've always been, not the center of attention, but the big laugh factor. Oh my gosh, always joking. There's this, there's that. So I've always been like this. This is nothing new, not new to this at all.
I love it. You are true to this, not new to this. Now, okay, when did you start dancing? Sound like 16 years, but when did you start dancing? And then when did it become more than just like maybe a hobby or a passing
Yeah.
thing?
So I started dancing originally when I was 2 years old, and it was just, the little baby tap ballet jazz class. And you learn this dance for an entire year, and then you do it at recital. Um, so, cutesy little small stuff that every, normal little girl starts at. But I think I started taking it seriously, and it wasn't just like this thing that I did maybe in the seventh grade, where I joined the company that I'm on now, Infinite Soul Dance Company, which I love. And I think that was the moment where I was like, wait, like, like I really like this. Like, it's brought in more than just movement to my life. It's given me life lessons and forever friends. Like, maybe I want to take this seriously. I feel like that could be really fun and interesting.
Wow. And so was there an age where it clicked for you where you realized that because I'm sure and I have 3 kids and both of my daughters have gone through like dance and done some kind of, early dance or gymnastics, but was there an age when you knew like, oh, I'm good at this. I have a God-given gift for movement and memorization and choreography and timing and balance. Like, was there a spark that like you remember, or was it just a gradual progression into, I guess, this talent?
Yeah. So funny enough, I don't really think I realized or had the click that, like, oh, you're good. Like, no, you can do this, until maybe a year ago. It's so odd to say, because I feel like when I say that I've done this for 16 years, I feel like people automatically, oh, so you've always known. You must have always known that this was it. This was your God-given gift. This is what you're good at. This is your thing for you. And I was just, well, no, I didn't always knew that. I always had a love for it and a passion for it, and I've obviously done it for such time. But I think the moment where I was like, like, wait, like, you're really good at this, I would say maybe happened like a year or two ago, just at a competition about to go on stage for solo. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you freaking yourself out? Like, you've done this for 16 years now. You're going to step on the stage and you're going to do what you always do. You're not going to forget the dance. You're not going to mess up. Like, I just, I think that was also the moment I had like full trust in my body to just like, no matter what your brain's doing, your body's always going to work for you. You're going to be fine. And so then I think in that moment, I was like, well, you got this. Like, no, you're okay. You're fine. You're it. You got this. You're fine. So I would say it happened maybe like a year or two ago. It's not something that I've always known or I've always had. I think it's always been in me, but I had to find it. So um yeah, I think it was fairly recent.
Wow, you hit on a lot of things, like the idea that trust your body, and it was in
Yes.
there, but you had to find it. Almost like being reminded of the excellence that you already have, and all those reps and performances and practices. Now, do you have a prefer? I don't know what dance language is, but you have a preferred style or format or specialty, or what's your thing in dance?
Yeah, I would say modern. I love that it goes more into the basics of dance, the simple lines, the, smaller, I guess, fine motor skills of dance. And it goes back to the basics and just really goes over what dance is rooted in, which is obviously movement, but just like focusing on stuff. And it's super particular and nice. I think for non dance community people, if I had to compare it, it'd be a combination of like jazz fusion with ballet, but also with a little bit of contemporary, just all mixed into one. I love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, it sounds like this mix, a hybrid, and kind of if
Yes.
your experiences seem to kind of reflect that. Now, I'm curious though, if you go maybe like way back, because I think of you said motion and movement are almost like a language. Like there's
Yeah.
soul, there's sound involved. You're responding to sounds, and you're creating energy. Are there dancers who inspire you, like Misty Copeland's, the Josephine Bakers, Debbie Allen, I don't know, Alvin Ailey? Like, who do you are there any greats of dance or choreography that you kind of look up to?
Yes. I think everybody, I call them dance gods. Everyone kind of has their own. Depending on who you ask, they may say, you're Josephine Baker, sort of the 1950s, the like beginning esque of dance. But I think mine for as long as I can remember, and it's kind of stayed that way, it's still always Misty Copeland. Obviously, she's more ballet based, and I am too, but I've kind of strayed away from it over the years. But I think ballet still is the foundation of every part of dance, whether it be tap, hip hop, jazz, modern, contemporary, it's still the foundation of everything. Everything kind of goes back to ballet. So I've always looked to her and for her. Um, in any dance based training, she gives great advice on dance and finding your confidence in it and it being for you. So I've always looked and just like, just in awe of her and everything she does. She could fall out of a turn or fall on stage, and I'd still like, oh my gosh,
Hey, who knows? You might run into her walking around New York City. I
that would
mean,
be a blessing.
that could
I would
actually
never.
happen. Now, I have a question for you because I'm curious how this works. Like, and so for this video will come out after the Sunday where you and Derek kind of perform. So Derek obviously is an amazing French horn player, and Nina, I was like, Nina, could you kind of come up? Is it possible to just come up with something based on what he plays? And you're like, yeah, yeah. It's like, I mean, it was an email, but you made it sound like it was like, oh yeah, of course. Like it wasn't like you were like, oh, I don't know, but how hard is that to match sound and movement and make an emotion? Because when he talks about his French horn, he says, hey, it has to connect with me before it connects with the audience. If I
Yeah.
feel it, they'll feel it. But you make it, I don't know, this the way you carry yourself makes it like, oh yeah, I got this. Like, how
Yeah.
hard is that?
Um, it depends. I think it depends on the person and the dancer and the length they've been doing it. But I will say, as for me personally, it's one of those things that when you start dance, you're immediately told that you should be able to tell a story and make people feel things without words. And I don't think I fully knew what that meant until I got into like my teens and a little bit older and got in touch with emotions and myself and everything going on. So at first, like make people feel things. Like I'm not saying anything. I'm not singing. I'm not talking. I'm not reading poetry. I'm not reading an essay I wrote. I'm dancing. There in your mind, like there's no correlation between the two. It doesn't go together. But I think as I got older, there are ways to make people feel things. You get on stage and you're, whether solo or group dance, you're dancing for yourself. You're always told to dance for yourself and for the Lord, of course. But you also like everyone in the audience needs to be able to find a story that relies, and resonates with them and like, ooh, that dancer right there. I resonate with her because whatever. There always needs to be something that someone can connect to. So you're talking to the audience through movement. So I think when you would ask me, like, oh, could you, French horn, can you do this? And I was like, okay, well, I've never heard a French horn before. Didn't know that. I know a tuba, a clarinet, and a flute. That's about it. But I was like, okay, I started finding, videos on YouTube and everything. And I was like, okay, I think I can do this. And I reminded myself that, okay, well, you know, you've never done this before. That's great. You've never done this before. There's always room for experience. But also, how can I make this resonate with at least one person in the audience? If I can make someone, at least one person in the audience, like, oh, yes, she represents how I feel when I went through this in my life, then I've done my job. My job is done. I've done what I feel like I need to do. Um, so yeah, I think when you're taught that, it kind of grows with you and you really learn what that means to be able to tell a story to the audience without physical words.
Yeah. Wow, the way you talk about dance, I've been in kind of some writing classes, and the way you talk and express and think about dance is, I mean, is almost exactly how like writers think about the written word. I mean, there is so much overlap in all of its creativity and art. And part of this sermon series masterpieces is that we've all been gifted with some kind of creative gifts. Now we're focusing on performance arts and fine arts because those are um maybe easier to personify, and we have people with certain gifts, but it could, it could be anything. It could be your strategy, your insights, the
Yeah.
way you problem solve. And so I'm curious for you though, have you ever felt God's presence while dancing or while performing for a piece? Have you ever just had a, I don't know, like the runner's high when you're running and you just feel like it's you and
Right.
your breath? I don't know. Do dancers have that, a similar kind of thing? You're dancing and everything else just kind of goes away.
Yes, I will say, for me, it happens normally before. I have like a whole little thing I do before I go on stage. When I'm dancing with my team, we always pray before we dance, and just ask God to bless us, bless the dance. No matter what happens, you leave it on the floor. You mess up, you do amazing, you leave it on the floor. After the dance is done, you know, you can't really go back and change anything you just did. So we always pray before a dance. Of course, when I'm, preparing for a solo, I pray before a dance too, but I will say, I don't even know where this came from. I think it came this year, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing this. I really like this. I always just have a little conversation with me and God. I put myself in a corner and I just thank him for the simple things in life that I feel like we always take for granted. Like, I'm just so thankful to have this facility I do. I'm blessed with this amazing body that I have. I'm blessed with the ability to move it and move people with it and talk to them in a way that isn't the way we're talking right now. I'm so blessed for this and I'm so grateful and thankful and my heart is just so full that I get to do this every day. There are people that have always wanted to experience the art of dance and never get to, or think they can't do it, or think they're too old, or think they're too young, or they started too late. And I'm just so grateful that I got to start when I did and I still stay in it, and I'm grateful that I've gotten to do it for 16 years of my life. That's crazy. So I always just make sure to have this little quiet time before I go on stage. And it always helps. It's never failed me. And then I go on stage and you kind of just black out and just hear the music and just like your body kind of leads you and your brain kind of like, oh, don't forget that. Or like, oh, we worked on that last week. But I don't really think it's an in the moment thing. I'm on stage and I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm kind of spaced out and then I'm off stage and like, oh, okay, I did it. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for getting me through that. Amen. And then it's over. It's such an odd feeling that I don't know that anything else can give you a feeling like that. So I would say mine happens beforehand when I just am in the zone and
Yeah, that moment. Yeah, it sounds
yeah.
like devotion. Now, how do you balance this, right? Because you've been in dance companies, and I know with the high school Timber Creek, you've danced as well. How do you balance, because you're in performance and you're in a competitive space where you're being rated, reviewed based on excellence and hitting all the points and emotion and how you look and like all the things. You're being evaluated. At the same time, part of your gift is from God. How do you struggle at all with the tension of being excellent on stage, also knowing that you're a masterpiece no matter how you perform? Or have you ever had tension between those things?
Yeah, I think I've juggled it. I think the one of the hardest parts about dance is that you're getting judged by judges that have only seen you for 2 minutes. Your solo is what, 2 minutes, and mine this year is 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So these people have never met you. They don't know you. They know your name because it's on a piece of paper. They don't know anything about you. They don't know your story. They don't know your childhood, your background, whatever. What happened the day before you went here, or the day before you went on. Like, they know nothing about you. So they're just solely judging you on, your ability to dance. And I think when you first start out, it's such an odd thing, especially when, you may not get the outcome you want. A perfect score is a 300. So if you get like a 240, I know for me, it was like, I don't understand. Like, what are they not liking? Like, I'm dancing with all of my heart and soul. And I just feel like I killed it and I put everything onto that. I'm sore. And then you give me a 240. But then I think the deeper and the further I got into it is, while I'm dancing for these judges and you get a placement, high gold, bronze, whatever, and you get a score out of 300, 240, or 290, whatever. I'm dancing for them, but I'm not dancing for them. I'm dancing for God. That's the only judge I really need. I'm proud of myself. The judges scores me great, it scores me bad. Okay, that's great too. That's their job. They have to do that. But I'm not dancing for you. I'm not dancing for your approval and oh, that was great. The only person I want to hear that from is God. And that's the only person that really matters. So I think when I got older, I was able to have the revelation of like, you're not dancing for these people anyway. You're dancing for God. Calm down. He thinks you're doing great. He thinks you're doing amazing. You have nothing to worry about. You're fine. So I think you wrestle with it sometimes, but then I think a simple reminder of that is just, okay, I feel better. I'm ready. Let's go. It's
Wow.
nothing to it.
I love that idea. I think we can all take that, no matter if we, dance with two left feet or, two right feet.
Yeah.
I'm dancing in front of you, but I'm not dancing for you. I'm dancing for God. And that idea that, yeah, judge has a role and this might be a competition, but that confidence is something that, I mean, adults, we need that. And now, okay, shifting gears a little bit, because you are like, newsflash, she's headed to, like she mentioned, FIT, right? So I used to work in New York City, so walk past FIT, 27th Street all the
Right.
time. I worked in the fashion industry for a couple years. Woo, that's a whole other interview, but it's a fascinating industry, especially in New York. Right, so you are headed from Timber Creek in Keller, Texas to FIT in the middle
Yeah.
of Manhattan in the concrete jungle, the Big Apple. What are you most excited about?
Um, just to step into this new chapter, while I am very, very sad that dance will be ending. It's one of those things that I love it enough to be able to let it go. I love it so much that I just like, I'm going to give it its proper time to grieve, its proper burial. And then if I decide to come back to it later, then I do. And if I don't, then I don't. But I think I'm very excited for this new chapter. Fashion is something that has kind of been all around me, but I just don't know that I realized it was and how much I really do love it. Um, I always tell people that I love fashion now the way I loved dance when I first started it. And that's how I knew, like, I think you might want to make this a career. You really like this. So I'm very excited to just open this new chapter and learn new things and meet new people and go to the best city in the world. I'm very excited. I'm very blessed and very grateful that I get to do this.
Wow. I'm so happy for you. I would say this. This isn't advice, but it is. I think one of the most foundational things I did was go out of Texas. I went to school in Florida and then packed up my bags, went from Florida to New York City to work. Getting out of my home state or hometown, experiencing other cultures and all the challenges that come with that, right, is different when you're kind of there. And I know you have family, in the area, so you're not totally solo. But and it stretches you. I think it creates constructive growth and tension. So I am so happy for you. Now here's a very serious question. I don't know if you're ready for this one.
Oh,
Right. So I know, I mean, Mike and Anna are like global treasures. We love the Burroughs family. But I know this. Y'all don't play when it comes to Marvel. Okay.
no,
In fact,
don't.
I have seen Mike's Marvel room. I don't know if I'm outing him, but y'all, Mr. Mike
Yeah.
has a Marvel room. Now, for
Really?
you, Nina B,
Okay.
what Marvel character are you most like? Which one
Okay.
exemplifies you?
Okay. Okay. Um, I've always said Black Widow. Um, but sorry, spoiler alert, if none of you in the church have seen it, she's dead. She died. They killed her off just like they're killing everyone else off. So I think I'm starting to slowly switch into her sister, which is also Black Widow 2.0 for those of you that didn't know. Yelena, I love her. She's very tough. She has a bunch of grit and determination, but she also has like a little soft spot. She has emotions. She has feelings. She loves her family and loves her job and loves what she does. So, um, I resonate with her the most. I love her. I love her very much. Yeah. That's such a
Oh, I approve that. We saw Thunderbolts. Man, I love her energy, love all everything, and
good
I
movie.
can see that. I can totally see
Yeah,
that.
right.
Elena, Nina. So I asked everybody this as we wrap. Any advice, wisdom for aspiring artists, people who want to use their creativity to glorify God or even move across the country to glorify God. Advice for people who want to glorify God with their creativity or gifts or dreams or what He's put on their heart. Any wisdom or things you've learned, even at this, even as a um, high school graduate, I mean, clearly there's wisdom in there. Any advice for aspiring
Yeah.
artists?
Um, patience, 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 patience. It's such a hard thing to have and to hear. For example, I applied to FIT in August and I didn't find out if I got in until April 1st. So, all of that time, I'm just waiting. I felt like an undrafted NFL player. I don't know where I'm going. But patience, patience, and ask God for patience. These are things we can't do alone. I can't supply patience for myself, but I can ask God for it. And I was granted with it, and it turned out to be the best thing in the world. Um, Patience, you're not going to get everything when you want to. The first time you get something, it may not be right, and you won't understand it at all. It'll make no sense. The first rejection, the first acceptance, but it may not be somewhere you want to go. Just wait. There is always better. Never settle. Never, oh, I don't really want to go here, so I'm just going to, go there anyway. No, do what you want. Make your dreams happen. It will work. God never runs out of, you know, enough. He is enough. There's always more. Ask for more. Do more for yourself. Always do more. Um, yeah, such a simple little phrase, simple little thing that we learn in everything, in every part of our life, in every aspect, in every period. Just patience. Just wait. There's always better. Yeah.
Wow. Boom, mic drop moment from the Nina Bros. Nina, we thank you so much for your time, your
Thank
wisdom, sharing your talent with us, also sharing your story, being transparent with how you think. And we're just so proud of you, happy for you, and we're rooting for you, cheering for you, and we'll be praying for you as you make this transition over the summer into like this new beginning in New York City as a fashion student and pursuing all that God has for you. We're so grateful for you and thank you so much.
Thank you.